Alright, so I'm back again today with another video, feeling quite a bit better, hopefully getting back into training tomorrow. Today is Sunday, June 9th. But I just thought, because a couple people have asked me, what the plan is now after Brunei. Am I going to be competing again soon? What shows am I planning on going to compete in? And similar questions. I just thought I'd address some of them here. Some people came to my Instagram and asked me, and also to my Facebook and asked me, and so I thought I'd just address this here. So I think regardless of my performance at Brunei, I think, I was given a couple potential opportunities, one to go to compete in Hungary, which I haven't really received the offer yet, which probably likely means that I won't receive it, at least not this year. And also to compete in Malaysia, both I think in July, which would be next month. There's also a competition in Taiwan at the end of June. I've decided not to compete in that, to coach, but not to compete in that. And again, regardless of how my competition in Brunei went, I think I'm at the point right now where I kind of want to take a step back and reassess things. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit burnt out. I've been prepping for comp now, in 2023, June and July of 2023, I caught dengue fever, and had to work my way back from that. And so, really, in all honesty, I haven't really taken any sort of a break from prepping for competition and or bringing my body back from the brink of collapse with dengue fever, to kind of just enjoy training for a while. It's always been, I was sick, I came back, I competed, and it was always kind of like, okay, so I competed in December of last year, I competed in February of this year, now I competed again in June of this year as well. And so it's always kind of been comp prep mode. It's possible I may still receive the invitation to go to Hungary, although I doubt it, which is fine, really, to be honest. And also receive an invitation or sign up to compete in Malaysia in July. If that doesn't happen, I'm actually fine. If it does happen, I'll consider my options. I don't know how long I want to have my body in comp prep mode. At the age of 41 and a half, I'm not really sure my body wants to be in comp prep mode for that long. I want to get back to enjoying training a little bit, and hit some goals that I have for this year, or at least get very close to them, so I know that they're within reach by the end of the year. So speaking of the end of the year, there are a couple of competitions that I would like to qualify for and or go to, potentially, depending on how I'm feeling and how everything else goes. Potentially trying to qualify for Shenzhen, China's Strongest Man. I haven't been able to get to China just because of visa issues. I haven't really tried to get a visa, but looking into it, it seems like quite the ordeal, and so I would need a bit of time to do that. My understanding is that there may be an online qualifier, so that might be in August. I might attempt the online qualifier. If there isn't an online qualifier, if I cannot go, I'm okay with that too. Doesn't really bother me too much. There is a competition in Beijing in July, which I won't get a visa in time for, and I hadn't really planned on going to, after finding out that getting a visa to that show may be a bit of a problem for an American citizen living in Taiwan. So that, all things considered, I won't be going to Beijing, but I may try the online qualifier. If I do qualify, the competition would be in November. Also, I've heard some rumblings of a competition in Indonesia, which would be a team competition in December. So the latest competition that I'd be looking to get into, again, would be the team competition in Indonesia. And by that time, hopefully, I will have hit a lot of my year-end goals, or get very, very close to them by then. Take a bit of time to enjoy training, and just kind of taking stock of things, because there are some other things that I am interested in besides strongman. Now, I've dedicated the past year of my life strictly to strongman, especially since I was sick with dengue fever, and I think it's taken a toll on me, and that's one of the reasons why I have been, ill recently. Even now, my voice is not 100%. I'm still not feeling 100%, but I'm going to get back into training probably a bit later tomorrow. But I'm going to get back into deadlifts and doing some sandbag stuff, and just getting back into my training a bit, working on some weaknesses, working on grip. Another thing I'd like to get into is MMA. Yes, part of it is watching Eddie Hall kick the shit out of those two YouTubers or influencers or whatever. But I've always been interested in MMA, and I think that my American football background, my wrestling background. Now, granted, I don't have maybe as great of a wrestling background as some other people, from my generation or from my school or whatever. But I do have a wrestling background. I have done some boxing. I have done a bit of martial arts stuff when I was younger, and I feel like with my strength and my size, which I will talk about in a minute, it would be kind of fun to just see what might happen in that situation. I was interested in boxing originally, but I think that MMA probably fits me a bit more, just the physical strength aspects of it. Besides, being able to throw punches is one thing, but also being able to grapple and wrestle and do some ground and pound and just have some fun with it. And potentially make that part of my training regimen to drop some weight. So right now, I weighed myself this morning. I'm sitting at about 120 kilos in body weight, about 119.6 it was, which probably when I was in Brunei was heavier. I haven't really been eating that well recently, these past week or so, just because I've been feeling unhealthy and feeling not really hungry. But once I get back into cooking regularly again and doing my meal plan and doing my meal prep and whatever, I think the weight will come off. But also having a bit more cardio in my regimen obviously wouldn't be a negative thing. So looking to maybe do some MMA stuff, getting back into some grappling, getting back into some striking. I don't know how many kicks I want to throw, but I think definitely working the hands and whatnot, working on takedowns, wrestling, and just kind of see where it goes. There are some people I would like to fight, so we'll just kind of see where that leads me and where that leads them. Maybe even a 2-on-1 for some of the smaller guys that I'd like to fight. But it does give me, I haven't really mentioned this just because it seems like I'm hopping on the Eddie Hall bandwagon thing, but really, I have been following Eddie Hall's journey. And I also thought that bringing it up without anybody having any idea about what was going on, because I don't think really anybody really took it that seriously until Eddie did it, of doing kind of something similar. So we'll see what happens. Obviously I would need to train for quite a while and put that on top of my strongman. I'm not walking away from strongman. Strongman is always going to be, strongman and strength training will always be part of my regimen regardless of what I do. Even though I've basically had 2 weeks off now from training with the deload, with the competition, and now with being sick, getting back into training is something that if you were to ask me 3 or 4 days ago whether I really wanted to get back into training, I'm like, no, not really. I would rather just fucking sit on the sofa and I don't know. But now after being away from it for a couple of weeks, I kind of miss it, and I know that my body needs it. I know that I need it psychologically. I know that I need it emotionally, physically, all those things. So definitely that's never going to be out of the equation, and I definitely plan on competing again at some point in strongman, and hopefully this year. That would be the goal. Again, the latest, depending on how I feel, the latest would be December if November falls through and if July falls through. I'm not really looking at doing other competitions in the meantime. I think, like I said, I'd rather get, my hair is kind of a mess just because I haven't washed it yet today, but so it's kind of, as I'm looking in the camera here, it's deflecting my attention. But if all those things fall through, then it would be July to December if at the latest, and that would be a team comp. And I've been kind of putting together a team already in the event that that does happen. So, but no, strongman will always be part of my thing. I think probably I'll do strongman well into my 50s if I can. At a competitive level. I might start doing masters just for fun, or I might still compete with the younger guys or whatever. But the big thing for me right now is to, get my body healthy, drop a bit of body weight. My home is at 105. I'm not a particularly tall individual. And so, getting my body weight back down into a manageable, dropping 15 kilos for a competition right now is obviously not doable. It's not healthy. It's not going to reflect my strength very well, because it's going to take away from my strength. But it is something that by the end of the year, I definitely want to be back in the, under 110 in body weight, so I could easily get to 105 in a couple of months, and hopefully be competing in 105, which is where I belong. With the whole situation with SBD Taiwan last year, I was not able to get a spot in the 105s, and so I competed in the open class. And because I was competing in the open class, I just decided to sign up for Thailand in the open class as well. And Brunei, there were no classes, but definitely in the future, when there are classes in strongman that I can compete in, I will definitely be competing in the 105s. Thailand, I'm not sure yet. I'd like to be able to defend my title in the open class, but a part of me also wants to compete in the 105s there, and just kind of see how I measure up with those guys. So, at any rate, that's kind of what's happening with me right now. I've been asked to go to Singapore and compete in the Extinct Games, which I've decided not to, just because my wife is we are expecting my wife to have our child at that time. It's supposed to be in early October, and that's kind of when our daughter is coming. So it is a daughter, by the way. We confirmed that just this past week, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I would rather, it would be very, very hard for me to focus on training and competing if my wife is kind of always on the clock, right? I could get a call from her at any time that her water's broke or whatever. And it'd be very hard for me to be in Singapore and she has our child. I'd rather be there for it. Hope everybody can understand. So the plan was to go to Singapore, but then after we confirmed that my wife was pregnant and we knew when she would be having our child, it was taken off the realm of possibilities, let's say. So that's also something that I need to work on as well. There are some things that I'm planning on doing professionally that don't involve strongman and don't involve coaching. I will still be doing strongman, obviously. I still will be doing coaching, obviously. But there are some other aspects of business and things that I'd like to get involved in, and also do a few things with the wife in that respect, as far as business is concerned. So we'll just kind of see where things go from there. But again, I thank everybody for their support. All their well wishes, all the get well soons and everything. I'm on the back end of this. I'm feeling quite a bit better. I wouldn't say 100%, but I'm at about 90% right now. Waiting for my appetite to come back, which only affects training, basically. It isn't like I'm worried about not eating enough, but it'll affect training for a while if I don't get my appetite back. But I think training and then getting my appetite back probably will be sort of at the same time. So anyway, that's basically all I've got to say about this. But yeah, if you have anything to say, you can feel free to message me on my Instagram or down below. Again, thank you for all the well wishes and support. Sorry for letting people down with my last comp, but I really do think now, looking back at it, that I probably was. The wife and the stepdaughter were both sick before I left, and I think possibly my body was kind of like in that purgatory, if you will, that middle ground, that gray area, where it's like, are you getting sick? Are you not getting sick? The virus is in your system. Can your body fight it off? Going to the airport and not sleeping well, and then going straight into competition, probably all had an effect on my comp. Yes, I'm disappointed, but it's not the end of the world. I'll come back better and stronger, and that's one of the reasons why I really want to just focus on training right now. Maybe not so much competing, unless something comes my way, and then we'll decide, one by one, piecemeal, whether I want to do that or not. Time frame also matters. November, the baby will already be out and about. December definitely, and memories of when of Brunei will also be in the back in the rear view mirror. So, but anyway, thanks again for everybody's support. Drop a comment and a like, it'd be much appreciated, and let me know if there's anything you want to see. I probably won't be posting a lot of videos about training. I may, but it might be more like if I hit a PB or something in particular. But if there's anything you all would like to see, leave a comment, and I'll do my best to see if I can provide. Oh,